Hi, and thank you for viewing this quick overview of SpendSmartGroup.com. We're glad you're here. Here's what will be covered in this short overview about SpendSmart Group, the state of small to medium sized companies, what we offer you, and becoming a member. SpendSmart Group started out as a division of Chicago Research Partners, a leading provider of financial analytics and custom research with offices globally. With a clientele of primarily middle market investment banks, private equity funds, and similar types of companies. One of the areas where Chicago Research Partners was helping their clients was in their sourcing in order to help them find additional areas of savings, which impacted directly to their bottom line. And as a result, Chicago Research Partners was managing commodity sourcing projects for private equity firms, which created a bigger need. An opportunity was quickly identified, thus, the genesis of SpendSmart Group. SpendSmart's sourcing team, with Fortune 100 procurement experience, quickly identified not only this need with Chicago Research Partners clients, but also a greater opportunity to serve other small to medium sized companies. What was identified is that the middle market, in large part, is that there's a lack of automation in their purchasing practices. In cases we found, purchasing is done oftentimes manually. So there's not a whole lot of history tracking of what is being purchased and from what suppliers. The second is the whole cost of implementing an e-procurement system. The problem is that with an ERP or similar type of software implementation, the cost versus the benefit of implementing is not quickly identifiable because there's that ramp up time, the time for training, and more importantly, the cost, which is quite substantial. And as a result, most of those indirect categories, the small items that are used day in and day out at the plant, go unsourced. Companies focus on their large areas of spend, usually in their direct materials. And as a result, the indirect categories is really not a core competency for a lot of companies. SpendSmart hosts a community of small to medium sized companies that, as a group, leverages their buying power, and they do this with the help of a web-based system. SpendSmart offers multiple indirect categories in an easy-to-use requisition to purchase order system that also provides accounting efficiencies. So we offer negotiated contracts with top-tier suppliers of indirect materials and items, purchase authorization workflow where buyers have approvers for spend controls. No more manual purchase order transactions because the electronic rec to PO process is fully automated. One of the biggest challenges is price integrity. Instead of you having to manage your supplier's pricing, SpendSmart can do that all for you in real time. So pricing integrity is always there. And one of the highlights, unlike other offers in the market, is that there is no software to buy ever, which means that upgrades are done in real time. The setup is simple, and starting up is a three-step process, which will be covered. Here's a snapshot of the categories currently offered on SpendSmartGroup.com. Please note that our members, in large part, will drive the evolution of the categories we offer. That's the power of the membership community. The categories include electrical, janitorial, MRO, office supplies, packaging, safety items, technology, and workspace solutions, which include office, furniture, and the like. These indirect items account for a substantial amount of spend for a small firm, and on average, about 20% of savings is lost due to that uncontrolled spending without an automated process or system. So the Spend Smart Group model is different, and here's why. The power of the group. Members place their orders directly on SpendSmartGroup.com. There's not a punch out into another system, so there's one purchase order being processed. So regardless of the items that you are buying, one PO is processed. The SpendSmart system then expedites your orders to participating suppliers for fulfillment. The suppliers then fulfill the order and send the shipments directly to you. Suppliers send their invoices to SpendSmart, and in turn, one invoice for all those items on that purchase order is then issued to you from SpendSmart Group. One important note here, especially for our private equity clients, that even though the power of the group is leveraged, each member company is mutually exclusive. This is key for PE firms who focus on divestitures, so the exit of a company has no impact on the other members. Furthermore, here's how SpendSmart Group is different. Some companies are probably surfing sites to find the best price. Then we'll call the vendor with that individual purchase request and issue a requisition for approval. They reference three different prices since you got three quotes for good practices, and then a PO is issued. Problem there is that there aren't real sourcing efficiencies. With a large Granger type of company, quite simply with huge companies like these, they have high overhead, and as a result, their prices are even higher, which makes it expensive for the little guy. And integrators that are typically used at bigger companies is another option, but there's a markup on a markup model plus the additional fee for having them manage your inventory. So again, that's an expensive one. SpendSmart, on the other hand, is a one-stop shop for multiple suppliers. It offers a robust catalog, again, with pricing integrity. So on your part, there's no catalog updates to manage. The SpendSmart sourcing team is like an extension of your purchasing department. So the strategic sourcing is being done on a larger level than just with your company's volume. And all this is done with system efficiencies and spend controls. The question we often get, and a very important one that we get from companies, is how fast can I see an ROI? Here's an example from one of our current members, a food manufacturer of organic products in the United States. Their purchasing department was decentralized. There's no strategic sourcing being done on indirect items. There's a manual rec to check process. And the process was further complicated with a myriad of suppliers. So multiple checks were then having to be issued for multiple suppliers. SpendSmart Group conducted an apples to apples comparison on products so that our member could see that we carried the products that they used. And in addition to that, we also offered them commercial equivalents for even further savings. Management understood the value of not only the cost savings opportunities, but also the additional catalogs offered and the savings that it provided for them. As a result, automation is now in place, a new workflow tool that gives spend controls. Cost centers are applied to invoices for better accounting efficiencies, along with the reduction in check writing. Also, tax savings. So, in short, the yearly subscription was paid back to our member with their very first order placed on SpendSmartGroup.com. So to join, it's a simple 3 easy step process. The first one is we ask our members to supply a market basket of typical indirect items, about 10 to 15 of those items for your reoccurring items in each one of the subcategories that we offer. Then, step 2, the SpendSmart team will then provide a cost analysis report showing you just how much you can save for each one of those subcategories of spend. And the third step is the member setup. The SpendSmart team will then assign your buyer logins, input cost centers, and set up your requested authorization approval tree. In short, the process is pretty simple and we can get you started in as little as a week. So for more information, please call us at 866-944-9553, extension 702, or you can go to sales@spendsmartgroup.com. And please visit us to see if your items are offered at www.spendsmartgroup.com. Thank you very much for your time.